All right, let's try this again. Um, so yes, I'm gonna be playing a little bit of Cataclysm. Hmm. Try it again. Cataclysm: Dark Days Ahead. A post-apocalyptic zombie survival roguelike. Um, yeah, very in depth. A lot of things to do. And a lot of horrible ways to die in the long run. So yeah, yeah, even though tracks, it's still stuck on source. The source is now 480p, so it should be a little bit easier on your. I'm hoping. So let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be, I'll try to explain things as I go along as much as I can. Um, it's a very in-depth game. A lot of things to get, as I said, a lot of things to do and see. A lot of horrible ways to die because the answer to what kind of apocalypse has happened is more or less yes. You'll see again. We got zombies and eldritch monsters and a whole bunch of other fun stuff going on. So, first thing you gotta do is create a world and choose what mods you're gonna use. Um, I use a somewhat standard selection mod, what a lot of people use. Um, so I've got some extras, fictional guns, more buildings, some medieval and historic content because that's always fun. That's odd. I don't know why it's decided to be weirdly ordered like this, but whatever. I do turn off fungal monsters because I don't like dealing with them. I'm using a modified version of Stats Through Skills. It's a hybrid of two of the other Stats Through Skills mods. So more boats, more folding parts, more guns. The Grim Reaper mod, is actually a Japanese mod that I translated myself. Bit OP, but it's just a lot of fun when you get to use it. So, and simplified nutrition, simply because as it stands right now, the nutrition in game either is or was broken. So, um, I don't like the way these things all weirdly sorted out, though. Ah well. Uh, but anyway, that's the world options. The world mods, and I'll explain what those do as we get in game, of course. Um, so a lot of this stuff won't make sense. I am playing on 28-day seasons. The default is 14. So this means that a year is 110 days for me, which is about a third of the real world, which I find is a good balance here. So, um, and you can just pick any kind of heading like so. All right. And here's where we're going to start getting into the exactly how complex uh, this game can be as it loads up. So I tend to go single pool. We get 8 points. Tab over to scenario, and here's where you start to see all the different things you can do here. You pick out a starting scenario, ranging from very challenging to not so much. So, your default is you're an evacuee starting out in an evac shelter. But they got some challenges here. Where you come in pretty much naked, with only a towel. You're surrounded by fire and zombies and all that stuff, and you could be like a mall cop, or starting a school, starting a mansion, or bottom of a mine, and so on and so forth. For this first game, I'm just going to start with the standard scenario of being evacuee. And then you go through and you pick, your pretty much your class. The default, of course, is being a survivor, which costs you nothing. And it's pretty much, you're pretty much generic. So you start off with a little bit of clothing, a pocket knife, some water, some matches, a winter coat and some winter boots to help out with warmth. He's not, very much generic, but you can be, there's a lot of things to choose from. Some of them are just kind of funny, like you can be a clown if you feel like it. All sorts of religious people, mall security. You can even be a medieval peasant, pretty much. Although I don't recommend that. You start out illiterate, and you really can't get rid of that, and that could be really kind of bad. So, but there are a lot of choices. And the further you get on the list, you can see they start costing points. So you start out with 8 points, and picking a martial artist will cost you 3 of those points. So, And again, for my first game, I'm just going to leave it on the standard survivor. And then you pick your traits, both negative and positive. And these allow you to give yourself some bonuses or negatives. Negatives so you can get more points, and then of course you can use some of those points up to get some positive things. I'm gonna go through and pick some relatively standard. All right. This one is kind of a cheat. You'll see being used a lot. I have skill rust turned off. Usually your skills will erode. And I had that turned off. But forgetful would generally make skill rust, faster. I have it turned off. Forgetful does nothing, but it's free. It's 3 free points basically. A little bit of a cheat, but whatever. Nearsighted, poor hearing, trigger happy. If you ever get a full auto gun, occasionally you'll just not be able to stop yourself from just opening up full bore occasionally. Heavy sleeper. So zombies are less likely to wake you up, which could be kind of a problem. If you get attacked in your sleep, you may not wake up in time. Truth teller and ugly has how people react to you. Although I think I have NPCs turned off here. I do believe they've always given me kind of trouble, so I tend to. And finally, lightweight. Alcohol, drugs, and such go straight to your head, and you suffer the negative effects of those for far longer. So, and then you just pick a few positive traits. You can pick 12 points of positive traits. You can see you have a maximum of negative 12 for your negative traits, and a maximum of positive 12 for your positive traits. You can pick 12 points here or not. Any points you don't pick here will get added to your pool. I highly suggest night vision. I really, really do. Otherwise, you'll be able to see in the dark, and you're going to want to be hunting in the dark and foraging in the dark for a very long time. So night vision is very important. I tend to pick Pack Mule, which allows you to carry more stuff. And then robust genetics. Mutations do exist in this game, both positive and negative. And robust genetics will make sure that you'll mostly get positive mutations versus negatives. So that is that. And I'm going to leave that. So I now have 13 points left over now after doing all that. Because I started off with 8. And then since I only took I gained 12 by taking negative traits, and spent 7 of those. So I gained 5 points, so I'm up to 13 here. And then add some stats here. Strength, they all do pretty much what you expect. Nothing here is really all that obtuse, I would think. Perception is what you use for your range stuff. So it's always good to have that. Also, what you use for detecting traps and how well you see at night. Hey, Shane. Intelligence, how well you do in crafting, installing bionics. Dexterity is how well you can pretty much, not get hit in melee. So you probably want a little bit of dexterity. And strength is how hard you hit. And finally, we have the skills. And there are a lot of skills in this game. What is it? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27 total skills. And you can see how in-depth this game gets. Because you got stuff like cooking is one of your skills you can get. As well as, all your gun skills. Speaking, if you got NPCs enabled. And again, I don't think I do. I tend to leave those off. Tailoring for making stuff, armor and clothing. Fabrication for building stuff. Mechanics for vehicles. And there is a huge... vehicles are a big part. You can pretty much build your own vehicles in this game. That's a huge thing. I recommend getting up at least... you spend a point, your very first point you spend in a skill gives you 2 in that skill. So, I recommend spending a point in dodging. Otherwise, things go really, really badly. When you go out there and try fighting. A point in fabrication is always good for some early game tools. As well as survival. I tend to pick tailoring and cooking to avoid some early game grind. And that's all my points. And here, we'll just kind of do this. And we'll get in the game proper. And see how this... Alright, and here we go. Welcome to the Cataclysm. You can see over there on the right, the little message saying that my dexterity and my intelligence got raised. I'm using stats through skills. So as you gain skills, your stats go up a little bit. So I gained 2 points in dex and a point in intelligence from the skills I chose. You can also see below that. You can see over here the mini map, which really doesn't show much right now because I'm inside of a building. A little bit of the overmap, which is this. This is the world around me. Forests here, fields here, and this is a town. Although I don't know quite what's going on. So you can see if I slide over, oh, it's a National Guard camp. Oh, that's neat. That's from a mod. And you can see a town above me, Greenwich up here. So this is all the world around I can see. And you get a little bit of it right here, showing there. This is where I am currently, what map tile I'm in currently, which is the evac shelter. Very light, dark. Lighting is very dark. Snowing outside. Spring day 1. Fists because I'm not actually wielding any weapons. How much sound I'm making right now, which is nothing. What monsters and creatures I can see around me, which again is nothing. How fast I am. And how focused I am. Focus is basically a multiplier, both good and bad, to the experience you get, to your skills. So, and of course, the hit points on all my limbs, head and torso. I'm not sure why I start off a little bit damaged in the arms, torso, and head like this. I've noticed this. I'm not sure what causes it, but it is what it is. So this is all is kind of basically my stats and such over here, and then over here is the world around me. I can zoom in a bit, or even zoom out, way out, but zoom in here. So here I am. I love this tile set because you can see where everything is. I'm inside what's known as an evac shelter, where everybody kind of retreated when the apocalypse came. All the zombies rose up. So I got curtain, so there's just a little bit of building here. It's not that large. We got a bunch of benches, lockers, counters, computer over there in the corner, windows with curtains over them, and doorways, 4 doorways, some stairs. Again, if we go over to the bigger map view, this is my evac shelter here, with a National Guard camp over here. I could check out, which I probably want to avoid for the time being. There's likely going to be a lot of military undead there, and those guys tend to wear armor, and that tends to hurt. Well, it takes very hard to hurt them. Each of these little symbols mean something. Like these little green arrows that point up and down are houses. And the point of the arrow shows which way the house faces. So the green arrows are houses. The blue arrow here is a sporting goods store with a gas station across the street from it. We have another hardware store here, another house here. Hey, a library. Libraries are good. Books are a big thing. You have 2 ways of raising your skills. One is by using them, but also you can read books to raise your skills as well. So, hey! Alright, let's get going. I'll answer any questions if you have any. I'll do the best I can. So, very first thing I gotta do, here I am. I don't have much. I have some clothing. Socks, boxer shorts, and jeans, winter boots, and a winter coat. So I'm not doing that bad in terms of warmth. Yeah, you gotta track your warmth, your hunger, your thirst, and how tired you are, among other things. This is my character sheet. So all my skills are listed there. All my traits. All the effects, how fast I'm going right now, my stats, and then here's my encumbrance. Everything you wear adds encumbrance to you. It also provides warmth. So, and the more encumbered you are, the harder it is for you to fight. The slower you move, the slower you recover. So it's a balance point of wearing enough clothing so monsters don't hurt you, but not wearing so much clothing you can't fight back. I get more in-depth look at my clothing here in the clothing listing, which shows the layering system they got going on. Every location, shows its coverage. And clothes can be layered. Like my long sleeve shirt is under my winter coat. Long sleeve shirt is a normal layer. If it doesn't actually tell you what layer it is, it's your normal layer. Whereas my winter coat is worn over your other clothes. So, so is my knit scarf worn over my other clothes, which is worn on my mouth. So that's how that works. Again, it's very, very, very in depth, but it mostly makes sense. They also have a very in-depth crafting system. Um, I can make weapons, ammo, food, chemicals, electronics, armor, and a whole raft of other things, tools, medical stuff. You know, I don't know that much right now. It may look like I do. I'll learn more as I go along. The very first thing I want to do is I want to make a few tools and a weapon. I don't currently have a weapon outside this pocket knife, which really kind of sucks. It has a 2-hit bonus of -2, which is bad. We want positive numbers, or at least 0. And it does like crap damage. So, it does allow me to butcher stuff, and chop things up into meat, basically. And it does cut stuff, so it has use, but as a weapon, it's no. Which is why its category is a tool, not a weapon. Though you can, if you're forced to it, use it as. So let's actually get started playing, and I can stop nattering on here. Just trying to give you some whoop. All right, so this is the outside world. Let me zoom out a little bit, and you can see that I have a field of view that I can see. Through this doorway, and in front of me, and hit the X key, I have some groundhogs. Hi, groundhogs. They're harmless. Let me zoom out a little bit. I know it's going to be a little small. Best way to do that. You can see it's snowing out there. Hey, thanks, Shane. So I hope it's more or less clear. Now, the very first thing I want to do is I want to find myself a rock if I can. Which should be some all over the place. I hit the V key. I can search for any items around me, and I don't see any items around me. No rocks out this way, apparently. At least none I can see. We're going to close that door. I'll show you why I want that rock here in a minute. I want to avoid opening this door for right now, because the National Guard camp is right there, and I can't be certain there's not stuff, kind of hanging out, waiting to eat my face. I open that door. So we're going to avoid that door. Huh. Thanks again, Shane. Alright, and there is a lot of stuff out here. We have trees and bushes and bigger trees, pine trees, and all sorts of stuff back at and all of them pretty much have their uses. I could, zoom out a little more. I know it's going to be a little small. And I'm still not seeing any rocks. Spotted a black rat. Safe mode. Which I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. Black rat is not really a big deal. I still don't see... Alright, stop doing that, please. Safe mode will keep you from wandering into an enemy without noticing it. Very important, but still... Ah, there we go. There's a rock. Alright, there's a couple reasons why I want this rock. Oops. So, I examine that direction. I can pick up the rock. Yeah, cheers. Yeah. Bits are currency a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how much they're worth. But, yeah, all the bits do help. So, I go back to my inventory. I now have a rock. And I can examine the rock, and you can see that it has a level 1 hammering quality. This is why I want it. Hammering is a tool quality. And a lot of your crafting recipes will require various qualities. In this case, so you'll need to collect basic tools and such that have different qualities. You can craft different things. And your rock is just very basic, whack things with it as kind of a hammering thing. It also does some decent damage if you throw it, but again, it makes a very poor weapon. We're going to, but that's not why I have it. Again, the hammering is a big reason why. I gotta be careful walking through here. I can walk over some of this stuff, but it's slow. So you can see from walking out there. Well, actually, no, I'm not doing too bad. But you can see that my mouth is a little cold. My legs are a little cold. However, I'm wearing winter boots on my feet, and they provide an amazing amount of warmth, so my feet are actually kind of warm. Anyway, now that I have this rock, I will go ahead and hit W to wield the rock. This means I now can do more damage than I could just with my hands. And if I hit S to smash, I can actually smash this bench. And now if I look over at this bench, I smash it into splintered wood, some nails, and some 2x4s. And these over here are lockers. Right here are lockers. You can sometimes find something in this locker, like that emergency blanket you can see just above me there. And an emergency jacket as well, neither of which I particularly need. What's that? Oh, and a gas mask over here. Alright, well, none of that I actually need. But I will, however, use the rock to smash, there we go, one of the lockers. I turn it into a pipe, 3 chunks of steel, and some scrap metal. Which means I can now do some crafting. So the very first thing I'm going to make, very important, I'm going to make myself a makeshift crowbar. And you can see it has the tool quality of 1 prying. I can use it to pry open doors and windows. And there are crates in the world I can pry open as well. Also, it doesn't make a bad weapon. Note that it does 12 damage, 12 bash, and 1 cut. And more importantly, it has a +2 to hit, which is very good for a starting character who doesn't know much about melee. Alright, and the makeshift crowbar uses my fabrication, has a difficulty of 0, so if you have any, you don't need to have any skill in fabrication to do this. So my skill, however, is 2. And it's basically time to complete is 1 minute. So I just need a tool with hammering of 1 or more, which is why I need a rock. And I needed a pipe, which is why I smashed the locker. I do that, and I also now have a makeshift crowbar. And I can wield the makeshift crowbar, and I can just pretty much store the rock in inventory. There we go. First tool.